Welcome back, you degenerates. My degenerate family, as always. We're here again today on Monday. I just like to add, I've been doing a pretty damn good job of putting these out Mondays and Wednesdays. Like the 10 people that are watching it, I hope you're enjoying it. I think we will get more traction here once we get closer to the season because we're kind of, deep in the weeds here if we're listening like in July and early August. It's like 10 of us, right? So, anyways, let's get into it for the Madden algorithm. If you have been a follower for a little bit, you already know about this. If you're new to the channel, if you found me somehow, congratulations, because you're going to get some information that I don't see anywhere else. There was a book years ago now, I want to say probably like in 2005 or something like that, where the author put down how to create an algorithm using the Madden rankings or ratings for the players, with the premises being that the players really dictate a lot of the early season. Yes, the coaches, like I'm huge on coaching. That's probably my biggest point of emphasis throughout the season. But the coaching is not where it's going to be at the first week or two of the season, right? And even really the first 3 weeks or 4 weeks of the season. Now, we did make some notes and adjustments. So, and thank you because I've had some reminders. The Madden algorithm is really only like solid for the first 3 weeks. It used to be four. We've kind of reduced it down to three. And really, I would say it's even more effective the first 2 weeks. So it just, as we get further into the season, more and more coaching matters and less individual players. But for those first weeks, we really can look at these players and get us a good kind of feel for where they're supposed to be at or where the teams are at. Now, on that note, there's one other restriction or just kind of change that I've made to Madden in the past. I've really looked at, like 8 teams or 8 games, I should say, worth of teams, and we've looked at dogs and favorites and all sorts of stuff, just looking for like different lines. And you would be surprised because I was surprised, I should say, the algorithm that he uses and the math that the author of the book put in here, and I apologize because I would love to give you the name of the book, but I forgot it. I have to go find it at some point, and I can tell you what it is, but it's something like, football algorithm or something like that, a football calculation, something like that. But I'll find it and I'll give it to you. But either way, what he uses as far as coefficients and probabilities and how the way he creates the lines with the algorithm, it's very, very accurate. And again, this is a book that was written over a decade ago. And just as an example, like let's go to the Falcons. The algorithm gives us the Falcons as a negative 0.67, which negative equals a dog. So negative 0.67 means you should be about a 1 point dog. And the line right now is a 1 point dog. If you look at the bottom of the screen, these are all the teams that I've worked on as far as just creating it, doing the math behind it, and getting the lines. And for the most part, they're all pretty accurate, or stuff that maybe we just don't really want to touch, to be honest with you. Let's just take a look at the Saints and we can tell you what this is. So like the Saints, this one is, on paper, it says that they should really be like a pick 'em, but the Cardinals are a 5.5 point favorite. Now, the reason I'm not taking this in particular play is because there's other reasons that may impact this other than just strictly player personnel. Number one is, yes, still coaching. I know I just went on a rant about how it doesn't matter, but in the Saints instance, you have a completely brand new first time ever head coach with what will most likely be either a rookie quarterback or a quarterback that's not very good in his second year. And regardless of how good the rest of the team is, those two pieces right there being so new or just untested or just maybe not good, really going to keep me off of this game. So that's part of it. But if we look at, like, let's say the Browns game here, so the Browns are they're 5 point favorites, right? 5.5 some places, depending on where you look. The algorithm says they should really be about 6 point dogs, so not super off. I mean, we're talking about a point to half a point, depending on where you're looking at. Now, the other note I was going to mention with Madden is that while we looked at dogs and favorites previously, over the last maybe 3 years, I've really recognized that the Madden algorithm does a much better job when we focus on just the dogs. Meaning that if we see a dog that is undervalued, that's really where this algorithm is going to do its best work. So, in saying that, let's look at the Giants. This is a team that I already kind of had circled. I already liked them before I even did this algorithm. One, because the Commanders, I strongly believe, are due for some regression, whether that's health, whether that's personnel, touchdown regression, whatever it may be, right? There's a lot of things going on with the Commanders that are just kind of shouting out like red flag. And if you're a Commanders fan, great. I'm not saying that they're going to be, dog shit. It's just they may not be or look as good as they did last year. And for a rookie quarterback to go as far as they did last year, and I know he's great. I 100% will give you that. It's just not always repeatable. So we're expecting some regression is the point of that. The other side of this here is the Giants have really made a big step up because with Russell Wilson at quarterback, you just have actual players you can use. So previously, with Daboll, I've always loved the guy, but with Daniel Jones, he could not do anything. He just, regardless of what he schemed, who he wanted to get open, what plays he wanted to do, the only thing that would ever work for him was the running game because he had to take the ball out of Daniel Jones' hands. He could not trust the guy to make a decision, to make a good throw, to not sit back in the pocket for 3 minutes trying to make a decision. So he finally has somebody back there with Wilson or even Jameis if it come down to it. And Jackson Dart's not looking bad either, but he's got somebody back there that can play the way he wants them to play and do the things he wants them to do. So that, to me, means a lot. Obviously, Jaden Daniels is still the better quarterback, but if you look all over, the talent is more equal than what the books would have you say. So the books are saying that it should be about a 6.5 point dog, and that's pretty much stayed steady almost the entire year. Really haven't seen a whole lot of movement since they put that number up. What this algorithm is saying is the Giants should really be more like 4-point dogs. So this should be closer to a field goal than a touchdown. So if you take the 6.5 points, you're getting about 2 to 2.5 points worth of expected value there, or 2 to 2.5 points worth of value, I should say, that increases your expected value. So pretty big difference. Really, anything more than 1 point is a pretty significant difference. Even in this algorithm, 1 point is like kind of, I don't want to say expected, but it's within the margin of error is what we'll say. When you get to 2 points, now you're something you gotta really look at because that 2 points is going to be big, and especially right around these key numbers. I mean, 6.5 is right next to 7, the 4 is right next to 3, so you're kind of right in that middle area. If you can wait, I think we can eventually get a Giants plus 7. I'm going to jump all over that. If you want to put something down on it now, just say set it and forget it. I don't blame you. But I'm going to try to wait a little bit longer to see if we get this Commanders money, which I think we will. That first week of the season, you see some Commanders money, some hype coming behind Jaden Daniels, and get this game eventually to 7, or at least it's plus 6.5 and minus 105 or something like that. So I think you're going to get a better number if you wait a little bit on this one. The other game is the Titans game. It's relatively significant. So Titans-Broncos, again, by coaching standards, obviously Sean Payton's going to be the much better coach here. But, again, these first 2 weeks, we do expect that to not matter as much. And honestly, we have a play on Cam Ward rushing already. And a lot of that is because what I had said previously. Sean Payton struggles when he has to play a quarterback he doesn't have a lot of tape on. I don't know why, but for years now that I've watched the guy, and I love Sean Payton, I've paid close attention to him, he absolutely struggles when it comes down to stopping rookie or young quarterbacks he doesn't have film on. Now, whether that's a defensive coordinator issue or it's just the way he's attacking them or whatever it may be, it just doesn't always work out well. So I do expect they're going to try to get pressure on Cam Ward, and he's probably going to run around a little bit. Now, if he can run around, and if this Titans offense in general can just kind of move a little bit more than we're expecting them to, this line value is huge because right now we have Titans plus 7.5, and the algorithm is saying it should really be Titans plus 5. So less than a touchdown, or we're getting more than a touchdown. Is that, and the easiest way to say it, right? So again, I'm still on the Cam Ward rushing, but if Cam Ward can rush, if he can extend plays, if he can get, extend drives and keep the first down chains moving, and if the Broncos are not, 100% in sync, rolling, putting up, 45 points in week 1, which I don't expect them to, and they're going to try to run this ball a little bit more, the Titans defense is not terrible. It's not the best ever, but it's not terrible either. I could see this game coming down to a one-possession game. just like most NFL games, right? And especially because early in the season we see a lot of these 1 touchdown games, or maybe they're 2 touchdowns and they're kind of just pulling everybody off the field early, whatever it is. Give me the Titans plus the 7.5. This is something you probably don't want to wait on because I don't see it really increasing in value a whole lot more. But the 7.5 is really juicy, so I love it. The Titans plus 7.5. Give me the Giants plus 6.5 for right now. Will be, I guess, a tentative play. But again, we're trying to wait until we get maybe plus 7 if it ever gets there. So those are the 2 Madden algorithms. If you want to know more about it, just comment below. Let me know how you want to get it. I'm completely fine with sending you this entire spreadsheet. If you want to just know a particular team, just throw it at me and I'll give you what the projected spread is on there. But thank you again, guys. I appreciate you, and y'all have a great week.